You know it's bad when Officer Tatum speaks out against Candace Owens.
And then the avoidance mechanism, which means that I don't want this to be true, because then this makes me vulnerable and I am a threat and I can easily lose my life like Charlie lost his life. So instead of me accepting the fact that any little weirdo with no life, no value can find a way to kill me, and I'm a juggernaut, I don't want that to be true. So what makes me more comfortable is if there's a conspiracy that all of these parts have to happen before that ever can happen to me.
I'm Tamera. You're watching the Tamera Nealy Show. I would like to welcome back all my returning subscribers. And if you're new here, I would like to let you know I'm happy you're here. Okay, y'all. So I saw this video of Officer Tatum speaking out against Candace Owens. Now, in the video, he says that it was actually a live on his page. He said that he would never publicly speak against Candace Owens, but he would speak against her ideas. I know that quite a few of you also agreed with my previous video covering Candace Owens and her claims regarding Charlie Kirk, his assassination, and his life and beliefs. Well, we're going to watch Officer Tatum's view, and also I want you guys to see the internet react to these claims, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how big the influencer is. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think that right now we are seeing the wheat separated from the tare. And so there's a shift happening, a turning point happening. And the question is how is this turning point going to affect us beyond this moment? Because we all know that this too shall pass, because that's just the nature of life. The question is how is it going to impact us as it passes? Well, we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to quickly say a word of prayer. Okay. Lord, I thank you for today. Thank you for each and every person watching this video. Lord, I pray for Officer Tatum. I pray for Candace Owens. I pray for Erica Kirk. I pray for each and every leader in the conservative movement and around this country, Lord. I just ask you to be with them, Lord. Give them your eyesight, Lord. Help them to speak what you have them to speak, Lord. Help them to do things that are right and that are good. And I just pray that you be with each and every person today. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I want you guys to watch this clip of Officer Tatum first, and I want to hear your thoughts about it.
In this question, in my opinion, right, Nick? I think this was a little more explanatory. So there's multiple reasons why people think the way they do. There is religious reasons, meaning that some people's religious dogma or religious ideology that come from a certain denomination believe certain things that lead them to a certain point of interpreting situations that come about. Interpreting our relationship with Israel, interpreting our relationship, what the Bible talks about the Jewish people or the chosen people. It's some people's denominational theology that interprets those things to them. And if they're committed to that ideology, then they only can see it through this lens. Or therefore, everything they believe is now fraudulent. Some people deal with grief differently, meaning that some people have a hard time compartmentalizing something so heinous that have happened to somebody. Therefore, they lash out in ways in which that are maybe not as productive, because they don't have no other way to lash out. Like you see somebody watch a horrific thing happen and they laugh. That don't mean that they think the horrific thing is funny. That's a defense mechanism, because they don't want to face the sadness. So they try to revert that into a joke or try to revert that into being funny. Just like cops do it all the time. When somebody gets killed or something like that, sometimes we joke about dead bodies and stuff like that. And it's not because we really think it's funny. It's because it's the brain's mechanism of diverting the trauma and saying, that's funny. But at night, it ain't funny to you. At night, it's horrifying. At night, you're waking up with nightmares. But sometimes people have a defense mechanism. And then there's the avoidance mechanism, which means that I don't want this to be true, because then this makes me vulnerable and I am a threat and I can easily lose my life like Charlie lost his life. So instead of me accepting the fact that any little weirdo with no life, no value can find a way to kill me, and I'm a juggernaut, I don't want that to be true. So what makes me more comfortable is if there's a conspiracy that all of these parts have to happen before that ever can happen to me. So I'm safe and secure because I'm not a part of all of these dots that have to be connected in order for me to lose my life. Over here is I could lose my life any day, anywhere, anytime by anybody, no matter what the value system of that person is or not what the value they hold, versus I'm safe because I'm doing the right thing and I'm protected, and you got to be a part of XYZ to end up getting in yourself in a situation. So those are theoretically positions that I think people take and why they take them. Some people are just malicious. They're tactical. They know where to get clicks and subscribers. They know where to go viral. So they strategically put things in place where they find ways to go viral. And there's people that do it intentionally. There's people that do it inadvertently. So there's a myriad of different reasons, and I can't pretend to get in somebody's brain and say, this is the reason a person does it. There are times where people do things in good faith, but it's viewed upon in poor faith because of the timing of what they're doing. A person can genuinely believe that this shooting has a conspiratorial aspect to it, genuinely. But when they put it out at the wrong time, it looks off, it's off-putting. They put it out at the right time, it's genuinely received. Now, people who are dumb, they're going to follow whoever they want to follow and say everything somebody do is right.
So right now, Officer Tatum is laying out 3 different reasons why someone would, choose to push conspiracy theories. And it's clear to me that he's talking about Candace Owens in this. And I think it says a lot about what's going on and how concerning it is, because this anti-Semitic rhetoric it's dangerous. In the Bible, it talks about how we should be careful about going against Israel, because they are God's chosen people, regardless of if you agree with them or not. I think it's very important that we still respect them. Okay. So now that you've seen that video of Officer Tatum, I want you guys to see the internet's reactions, because a lot of people on TikTok have a lot to say about this change that they are noticing with Candace Owens.
I think I'm having a battle with myself on how I feel about Candace Owens. For years, I really, really liked her because I was like, man, she's so intelligent. She's so outspoken. She just says what everyone else is thinking. And then she got a little weird. The whole Brigitte Macron thing, like, I understand you're digging for the truth, whatever the truth is. I could understand the importance beneath all of that. It kind of felt like an obsession in a way. The whole Daily Wire situation, Ben Shapiro, and now with what happened to Charlie Kirk, I've watched several of her videos again, and it's giving weird. Not to mention, she comes off as pretty anti-Semitic, which, I don't know. I think hating a group of people, like an entire group of people, is really bad. And to be quite honest with you, I haven't done enough research to have an educated opinion on that. However, again, hating an entire group of people doesn't feel good. But back to her relationship with Charlie Kirk, saying they were best friends. I think they used to be, but they didn't even follow each other on social media anymore. I mean, I follow all my friends on social media. I am their biggest cheerleader. I'm a stan for all my friends. So it's like, okay, I know she's an incredible journalist, so she's very likely to dig and keep going. But also, I'm like, is this her trying to come back? I don't know. What do you guys think?
So Candace Owens really is anti-Semitic, huh? Like, it's actually kind of crazy how much she genuinely hates Jews. Have you seen any of her recent videos? I watched bits and parts of her interview with Milo Yiannopoulos. I honestly didn't know who he was until recently. I'll be very transparent. When he was really popular 5-6 years ago, I wasn't really into politics, but he's now making a comeback now that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And her comments about the Jewish population, very, very, very aggressive, very, very aggressive. But then her always blaming Israel for everything is also just crazy. And I know that her and Charlie were friends at one point, but in her most recent episodes, with her like saying that she's like best friends with Charlie, and that this all comes down to Israel, and Israel's the one who killed him. Very strange. I will be transparent. I haven't seen her podcast, watching through the entire episode. So, but that's what I've seen through clips. So take that for what it is. But it's crazy how so many other people are coming out now who are actually friends with Charlie, who have actually like been in his space for the past few years, and are like, she wasn't even invited to Turning Point events. Like, he was distancing himself from her. Like, they weren't really that close. And she's still just doing everything in her power to blame Israel for so many things. And any chance that she gets, she just shits on Jews. I'm like, regardless of whether you're pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, whatever the case is, to shit on the Jewish population and to always want to bring them down is just wrong. It's just wrong. And it's crazy how much this is just like opening my eyes to how crazy she's actually become. I really liked her at one point too, but she's really out here just fully anti-Semitic.
I think Candace Owens single-handedly united every single Protestant denomination in North America. Girl, why'd you have to go say that? Girl, why did you have to go say that? Honey, you got the Pentecostals and the Baptists lined up. You got the Lutherans. What? Honey, what? Oh, Charlie, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Girl, what? Honey, stop.
I want to play this clip from Xavier's channel. He's involved with PragerU. He's a good friend of mine. And shout out to him. I'm so grateful that he posted this and that he had Officer Tatum on, because this is a very important conversation to have, because traditionally conservatives believe in protecting, of course, free speech. We also are pro-Israel. And so when you see big voices coming against Israel, it is concerning for the conservative movement, because many conservatives are Bible-believing Christians. And in the Bible, it talks about how we should not go against, we should be very cautious about going against Israel, because there are consequences for those who try and destroy them, right? And I don't know about you, but I want to be right with God. And I want this country to be right with God. And I'm not saying that everything Israel does is good. I'm not saying everything that Israel does is right. I'm just simply saying that it's very important to respect Israel. And it seems like Officer Tatum is in agreement with us and with me on this.
Right now, Xavier, it's inflamed. You know how you get you break a leg, hurt yourself or whatever, you get a bruise, whatever, and it's inflamed, it's swollen up. But then eventually it subsides, the swelling go down, and you can see. Right now, the hatred towards Israel is inflamed, and people are building platforms on it. They're viral. If me and you were hating Israel right now, we'd get double the follow, double the views. But what's going to happen at some point is that swelling is going to go down. Wait till the war is over. Wait till there's a peace agreement. Wait till the real numbers of what happened. Wait till the real atrocities of Hamas has come out. Wait till there's no more conflict between Israel and Hamas, and see what happens. Mm-hmm. See how they consistently conduct terrorist activity. See how it continues to perpetuate. And then the same people who stood on their high ground to shame people like you and I are going to come to a reckoning where they realize, oh, shoot, we went too far.
We need to continue to pray for people like Candace Owens, pray for people like Tucker Carlson, and also don't be afraid to share a different opinion, because if we allow these voices to continue to be the loudest in the room, unfortunately, our voices could be drowned out. And that's why I talked about this in the first place, because I was like, okay, I'm realizing there's a problem here. And if we don't say anything, then we're only making the problem worse. And then people don't know, what's going on. And I noticed there was a lot of people who were commenting on my last video about Candace Owens, were telling me, they said they didn't know how to articulate what they were noticing, but they noticed something. And so that's why it's important to use our voices. I hope this video kind of gives you even more clarity and helps you understand, like, okay, there are other people in the conservative movement, including Officer Tatum, who loves Candace Owens, who's good friends with Candace Owens, who is saying, hey, Candace, this is a little bit much. Let's cool down the temperature. Let's not go there. But of course, we're seeing that Candace Owens hasn't let up, and it's sad because it's taking away from Charlie Kirk, who has lost his life for his country, and I think it's an attempt to tarnish his reputation. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I love you guys, and you'll hear from me soon. Also, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, and of course, let me know your thoughts below. Love you guys, and you'll hear from me soon.